Ladies and gentlemen, seekers of light and secret knowledge wherever you may be, you are listening to Points of Light Radio, the podcast dedicated to taking you past the apron and behind the closed doors of lodges everywhere. And here is your host, Stan Miller.
Greetings, brothers and sisters. Shalom, assalamu alaikum, ad nastana. It's always a pleasure to be here with you on Points of Light Radio and taking this wonderful journey of light and knowledge that we've been embarked upon for over 2 years now. And today's segment of Points of Light Radio, we'll be featuring an organization that you've never heard of before, right? And that organization is the ancient Free Moorish Rite of Freemasonry. Now, reading straight from their website, the ancient and sovereign Egyptian Rite of Misram in Memphis is a Hermetic Masonic order whose aim is to bring mankind to illumination or gnosis gnosis of their own divinity by the aid of our initiations, doctrines, and theological, magical, and alchemical practices. Right? The order derives and is a legitimate heir of the initiatory practices of Misram of Naples and of Venice and of the Memphis of Palermo of Montalban. That's an awfully long description, and but I'm sure that my guest or guests can shed more light than me just reading that. And my main guest in this segment of Points of Light Radio is Aalim El Dey. He's the Supreme Grand Commander of the Ancient Free Moorish Rite of Freemasonry, and he's promised to bring along some other members of the order and their appendant bodies or to share their experience and knowledge of the ancient Free Moorish Rite of Freemasonry. So, without any further explanation from me, let's go have my guests share their knowledge with us, shall we? But are you still thirsty for knowledge? Are you still hungry for the light? Then just trim your lamp and follow me. Folks, welcome to Points of Light Radio. So who do we have so far?
Peace. My name is Brother Aalim El Dey.
Okay.
Okay, next, come on. We got, let's see.
Peace.
Yes, sir. Good. Peace, Brother Lewis.
Peace, greetings.
Greetings.
My name is Brother Luis Gross.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you, sir. And we have Brother Kufu.
Okay.
I don't know if he's still on. We got Grandmaster Sanchez.
Peace, beloved. Peace, Mr. Miller. Peace, Brother Luis. Peace to all. My name is Antonio Sanchez, and I am an officer of the flagship. Peace to all.
Thank you, sir. And, okay, it looks like it's, let's see. Well, we have, all right. We need you to just, as Dr. Hazel would say, pop up like popcorn. Just come on, introduce yourself so that we know you're here. That's it.
Peace, solemn greeting. I'm Sister Audrey V of the Order Moorish Star, and happy to be here.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay. Is that everybody? I hope we got everybody in there. So, welcome to Points of Light Radio. Now, as I understand it, you're all members of the ancient Free Moorish Rite or affiliated bodies thereof. So, first of all, how about you tell my listeners and viewers about yourselves?
Yeah. I'll start with myself, Stan,
Okay.
and then afterward, we'll go with the sisters, if both of them are on, and we'll go with the brethren in the order that you came on. All right. I am Aalim El Dey. I am the Supreme Grand Commander of the Ancient Free Moorish Rite, and I've been with the Moorish Rite since its reestablishment, inception, if you will, in 2001. I was appointed by Dr. Clifford Hazel Bay, who was the most puissant sovereign Grand Commander of the Ancient Free Scottish Rite, Northern and Western Hemisphere. And since then, I've held this post with honor and dignity. And also, I am happy to be here, and I thank you, Mr. Stan Miller, for having an interest in the Ancient Free Moorish Rite and inviting us to this Points of Light podcast. We are honored to be here. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. So why don't you shed some light on the Ancient Free Moorish Rite and its appendant bodies? First of all, what are the qualifications for membership in the Ancient Free Moorish Rite? Like, are they the same as other blue lodges? I believe we've had a conversation about this, but interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we did briefly. The qualifications, Stan, are essentially the same. You know, we require that you do have a belief in deity, and that you at least value yourself as a good man, a good person, you know, worthy, you know, of the fraternal studies. And essentially, that's it.
Okay.
That's it. Yep.
But what makes, shall we say, the Ancient Free Moorish Rite unique? Like, are its goals the same, or are its degrees structured the same?
Great question. Yes, sir. Great question. Our uniqueness, I will say, is our character. Our Masonic character is nautical. It's seafaring. It's a seafaring character. Whereas the majority of regular Freemasonic lodges character is stone building, predicated on the ancient stone building guilds. Ours is nautical. And I'll go a bit further, Stan, say that our uniqueness too is also inherited in our we need to silence a mic someplace, please. We need to silence a mic, somebody.
You know, you were 18 when you got married, you never had a chance, so you're
I'm not sure where that's coming from.
You want to get married at 18.
I'm hearing it, but I'm not sure whether. But our uniqueness is also to Stan, our great diversity as well.
Okay. Now, are your meetings formatted the same as regular Freemasonry?
All right. Stan, if you would just pardon me for a minute. All right, there we go.
So, are your meetings formatted the same?
Generally, they are the same. We do meet in lodges, and we refer to them as jarayas.
Okay.
We talked about a little bit before, which is essentially a sailing vessel. Mm-hmm. And the structure is familiar. And I think we may have talked before, and I said that if a Freemason, let's say from the Stone Builders Guilds, were to step into a lodge, and he had been in suspended animation for so many years, hundreds of years, and if he stepped into a Moorish Rite lodge, he would recognize that it was a Masonic lodge.
Okay. And like I said, what drew you to Freemasonry?
Well, what I'll do is I'll liberally put that to our members, and I'm going to answer that as well for you, Stan. And let's go with our members in the order in which you came on. and I'll have the brethren provide that answer for you. And we'll see how similar these answers are. I think it was first Adir.
Peace. Thank you for the question, beloved. I want to say that what navigated me to Freemasonry was trying to look for a way to help overcome life's challenges. Something that was big in family and community. So it helped that the Moorish culture of the ancient free Moorish Rite and the nautical character align with my own. And I've been here sailing ever since. Peace.
Right. Well said, sir. Let's go, Brother Lewis.
Peace. Thank you for the honor, sir. Thank you. Yes, well, I've been inspired to become a Freemason, specifically an ancient free Moorish Rite Freemason, because I just happen to know somebody that is an ancient free Moorish Rite Freemason, and we had a conversation about this rite, and I was impressed, and I decided to knock the door, and here I am, and I'm blessed for that. Peace. Thank you for the question.
Thank you.
Well said. Thank you, sir. Let's go with Brother Kufu.
Peace and fraternal greetings. I was very interested in joining Freemasonry. I wasn't sure which direction I really wanted to go in, but the ancient free Moorish Rite was definitely a fit for me. I look forward to the cultural aspects, the educational and moral aspects, and I've been pretty much sailing with the ancient free Moorish Rite for almost a year now. And I really enjoy the camaraderie, and it's definitely a fit for me. I really enjoy it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Well said. Brother Abdullah.
Peace. Pardon me. What is the question?
The question is essentially, okay, go ahead, Brother Stan, thank you.
What drew you to the Moorish Rite and Freemasonry and the Moorish Rite in particular?
Thank you. Thank you, Brother Stan, and peace and fraternal greetings to everyone. Similar to Brother Kufu, the brother that spoke just before me as well, I, for many years, was interested in Freemasonry. And when I got acquainted or familiar with the ancient free Moorish Rite, it felt like the right direction for me to go. I finally took that plunge, and I'm happy that I did take that plunge. It's been about 6 years now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, let's see. Stan, would you care to hear from the women of the OMS?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. Sister Audrey.
Greeting. Okay, well, what drew me to the OMS? Since I was young, I've always had an honest curiosity and interest in Freemasonry. My father was involved, but he never talked to me about it. He was always very secretive about it. So that's probably what perhaps made me so curious about Freemasonry and put me on the journey. So then one day, I had this dream. I saw the blue pyramid with the square and the compasses and the number 7. So I was inspired then to look up ancient Freemasonry online and saw the same blue pyramid. with the ancient free Moorish Rite. And ever since then, I've been a member for 9 years now. Thank you.
Thank you. I love that story, Miss Audrey. Sister Coral.
Greetings. For me, it was my husband. He was doing research on, the more positive aspects of Freemasonry, and that brought him to Dr. Hazel. So that brought him to the AFMR and me to the OMS, and it's hard to keep track, but it's been at least 7 years. We were attracted because of the spiritual aspects of ancient free Moorish Rite, and also culturally, like the heroines of the OMS have historical context for us, for our family, for our history, and there's even ancient Egyptian goddesses, which is, I thought something very beautiful.
All right, thank you, sister. Of course, Stan, Freemasonry was in my family, my father and my uncles, but they never talked about it. My dad and I never had a real discussion about it. I had to sneak and go find the Masonic books and things like that. And but my curiosity really became piqued as an adult. And I ran into a brother actually on the streets of New York. And I was impressed by him. He was sharp. And he's the one who actually brought me into Freemasonry. And once I became a Freemason, then I had some conversations, finally, with my dad, but not a whole lot. But one of the first things he said to me, he said, hey, there was a time when Freemasons could stop a train. And a Freemason can pull a plane down from the sky. And so we talked a little bit, but not a whole lot still. But to the ancient free Moorish Rite, I had been a Freemason for about 8 years, and I loved Freemasonry. And that's when I met Dr. Clifford Hazel Bay. And when he intimated that he was looking to establish the ancient free Moorish Rite, that drew me in entirely. And I just wanted to help out, with that endeavor. And that's how I got started with the ancient free Moorish Rite. And I've been here ever since. Yeah.
Excellent. Now, I have heard it said that in Freemasonry, you learn a lot about yourself as you go along. Now, what have you found you've learned about yourself as you've gone through this wonderful journey? From what I'm getting from all of you, it's a wonderful journey. What have you learned in this journey?
Man, great question. This is the best interview we've ever had. I'll put it to the floor. It's to the floor. I'm going to be Doc, pop up like popcorn. Grandmaster.
Peace, brethren. Peace and fraternal greeting to everyone on the line. Peace to the viewers, and peace to you, Mr. Stanley. The degrees of ancient free Moorish Rite have been, placed in a form where definitely you can interact with your learning, with your process of learning. Now, you will learn about yourself. Like you will, the degrees will help you to analyze your life, the way you conduct your person, and it's all about. It has been explained. It's all about become better. The process of polishing. So it is what you learn. You become a better person, a better human. You analyze your own self. So it's besides learning, is much more of refining. So it's about morals. So it's about refining yourself, your person. And that's my piece. I yield the floor, sir.
Yeah, and I think now I'll agree, like if I could interject, now I found going through the degrees myself, I learned something. And then I was able to sit and observe others going through them. And now recently I've been part of degree teams helping others go through them and conducting them through them. Would you agree that is the Moorish Rite the same? Like you learn something off of every one of those things, like getting the degree, observing it, and then putting others through them, help being part of the degree team. You learn something every time along the way. Would you agree? Is the Moorish Rite the same way?
I agree, and I'll put it to the floor. Right? I mean, of course, you realize the transformation that you had, but when you participate in, let's say, the initiation of someone else, right? Then you're seeing it from the outside, right? When we come into the craft, right, we're in the middle of the storm, if you will. But when you step out and you see the initiation from the outside and you're participating in it, right, now you understand it better. Because why? Like so many things, someone else is the example for you. You know, someone else is the example. And I learn every time I do an initiation. I learn every time I do an initiation, and I don't like to miss them. I would always call myself a roll up the sleeves grandmaster. I want to get out and I want to get involved with it because there's so much to gain. And I'm sure others have similar opinions, but that's certainly mine. Certainly agree with that. And I'm impressed with what you're doing with that initiative.
I mean, I found I learned so much along the way, and like I keep saying, it is a journey that you go through in fraternalism. I'm sure Moorish Rite is the same way.
Indeed, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I mean, it's a journey. Like I said, it's not. You don't just get a degree. I think you'll agree with me, and it ends there. Those degrees, a good degree work, and it sounds like the Moorish Rite has a very good degree system that way. In that, it like some fraternal orders, you get a lesson for the lodge, but it sounds like much like many of the other orders I belong to and have observed, it's a lesson for life. Would you not agree from those degrees?
I would agree. You know, we've always approached our initiations as a focus on nurturing the individual, right? You know, the standard is there of how it constructs with the lodge, but the individual, if the initiation is not about the individual, then it's not about anything.
Yeah. Now, I understand now, as I've been here, that you do have appendant bodies within the Moorish Rite and other rites as well. Like, are you in any of them? I know some of yours are in the some of my guests today here are in the female branch of the Moorish Rite.
All right, let's hear from our sisters. We got a toaster or popcorn? Whoever wants to.
Okay. Yes. So the Order of Moorish Star is complement. It's a complementary rite to the ancient Free Moorish Rite, meaning that it completes the ancient Free Moorish Rite. So we are self-governing. We're sovereign, and we. Actually, what I wanted to bring up was our emblem of OMS because it's illustrative of the complementarity, which basically is that which completes. And so it's showing a female and a male and together face to face. That means that they are coming together on the par, right? With equality. And I really appreciate that as it kind of, where it brings that sacredness back into our relationships. And it's informative, it's instructive, and it's something that we can, take into our daily lives.
That's excellent. Sister Audrey.
Well, yes, and I'd like to add yes, that the ancient Free Moorish Rite is the pendant body to the OMS, Order of Moorish Star. And we also as well have dual jurisdiction on the brethren side and the sister side.
All right, thank you. And any brethren care to chime in?
Peace, peace. As the sisters have spoke to the OMS and as well as the dual jurisdiction, which is an appended body for already standing Freemasons who wanted to avail themselves to the Moorish Rite degrees, but stay with their original lodge, but still be able to avail themselves to this degree system. Peace.
Yeah, peace.
You can do that, right? You can belong to like regular Freemasonry as well as the Moorish Rite.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Okay.
That's right. That's right. So many years ago, Stan, we opened up what we call a portal for dual jurisdiction. And it was because regular Freemasons wanted to avail themselves to the Moorish Rite degree system. They wanted to avail themselves to our teaching. And that was just by word of mouth, right? That's the old fashioned way, right? And so we thought about it for a while. Dr. Hazel and I, we used to talk about it, when he was alive. And so we decided to open up that portal and to allow regular Freemasons. They don't have to leave their lodges, and it wouldn't represent any disloyalty to their lodges, and they could come over and receive Moorish Rite degrees. So there is a limit, Stan, as to how far they can go in the ancient Free Moorish Rite, because they do have their regular degree system. So we didn't want to overburden them, and at the same time, we wanted to keep a segment of our degree system privatized, if you will, for our ancient Free Moorish Rite membership.
So to sum up, I'm running out of time here. So to sum up, what do you feel that the Moorish Rite can offer any potential candidates? What do you feel it has to offer? You've touched on a lot of things so far, but what do you feel it has to offer? If someone was looking at, what would you say to them right now? What could it do for them?
Peace, peace.
Well, anybody? Yes, Adir.
Peace. I'm delighted that you asked that question, beloved, because Freemasonry is about refining. And our illustrious Dr. Clifford E. Hazel Bay, our avatar, once said, Freemasonry truly refines a people. And I can attest to that own transformation in my own life. So I think what we offer is that system of refining. We're here to help you do the work, to help build the proper character that you need to be in your life for the people and family in your community. So peace, I yield.
Peace. And Stan, I might add, we offer what in these times in which we live is absolutely essential. We offer diversity. Mm-hmm. We welcome, and we have all members of all races, all classes, all creeds, right? We understand the true essentials of fraternalism. And we are all fraternalists in that sense. And to align with that, our motto is to raise the sun. And this means that we preserve fraternal enlightenment, right? We might have talked a little bit about this before. Like the sun itself, it occasionally sets. And we understand this allegory. And when it does set, it is our divine mission in ancient Free Moorish Rite, brethren and sisters, to raise that sun once again. And that sun shines equally upon everyone, indiscriminate of race, creed, color, or classes.
Well, on that note, I appreciate your time today, brothers and sisters. I wish you peace and blessings in your fraternal journey and going forward. All the very best to every one of you.
And we appreciate you, Stan, and thank you. And we will certainly be in touch. We look forward to a new relationship with you.
Thank you. Wasn't that great fellowshipping with all those brothers and sisters? I mean, what I really enjoyed, some things I really enjoyed about this interview was the cross-section of experience and knowledge that you've seen there, right? Everybody from newer members to people who'd been in for a lot longer than the others. And, you know, I just, from what I gathered during that interview, the Ancient Free Moorish Rite is an organization that was recently revived and reinvented, right? And you can feel that enthusiasm during the interview. You really can, right? You sense the enthusiasm, the fresh thinking, and the new ideas from their members. I just love that as they've gone along through this wonderful fraternal journey, right? And I love how, there again, you've heard me say this before, but how their views coincide with mine and the goals of Points of Light Radio. In fact, like, you don't just get degrees, and you've heard me say this before, you don't just get your degrees and it just ends there. You observe, you participate, right? And good ritual and degree work provides lessons for both the lodge and personal development. And we'll definitely have to feature the Ancient Free Moorish Rite here in Points of Light Radio again, because I'll tell you right now, from everything I observed, not just in this interview, but from going through their website, which I will leave the link to below here in the description section of this segment. But from everything I learned, it is a very deep order. There's a lot of learning that you can get from belonging to an organization like this one. It really is not just learning, but a lot of personal development you can do. And I love that. But that's all I have time for today, brothers and sisters. But before I go, as always, I want to remind you that this podcast is available on both YouTube and Spreaker. Please share, like, and subscribe when viewing Points of Light Radio on YouTube. I also welcome your comments and input. You can follow Points of Light Radio on my Facebook page at facebook.com/Points of Light Radio. You can see the link to my Twitter handle as well as my Spotify channel. And you can see the link to my PayPal, which you can give a voluntary donation to the podcast, and we will use the funds raised there to move it forward. You can also see the link to my Points of Light Radio store. Brothers and sisters, until we meet again, just step